What's up guys, QAJ3 Austin here, and welcome to my review of Logan. You know, that Wolverine movie that came out over 6 months ago? I apologize for taking so long to do this review, but hey, better late than never, right? This review will contain spoilers, so I'll give anyone who still hasn't seen the movie yet 5 seconds to leave. The story takes place in the year 2029. Mutants are dying out, with none having been born in 25 years. Logan, the Wolverine, is finally growing old and losing his healing powers. He now works as a limo driver in El Paso, Texas. He's also taken up a drinking habit to numb the pain of countless wounds sustained over the years. With the help of a sunlight-sensitive mutant named Caliban, Wolverine cares for an ailing Charles Xavier in an abandoned smelting plant in Mexico. Professor X has periodic seizures that make him lose control of his powers. One of these incidents at the X-Mansion years ago killed all the X-Men except himself and Wolverine. One day, a woman named Gabriela Lopez approaches Logan and asks for his help in getting a young girl named Laura across the Canadian border where she'll be safe from a corporation called Transigen and their hired hands, the Reavers. After Gabriela is killed by the Reavers, who then attack the hideout in Mexico, Logan finds himself thrust into the role of protecting Laura. Later, Logan finds out that Transigen led a program to create super soldier children from the DNA of other mutants. Laura was part of this program, and she was born with Logan's DNA, technically making her his daughter. The whole movie is very dark and gritty, like an old western. Right from the first scene, you just know this movie will be unlike any other superhero movie out there. It's super bloody, and there's a ton of F-bombs, kind of like Deadpool. But despite a few funny lines, it's much more serious than that. No movie has ever made me cry, but this one was pretty damn close. It doesn't take long before you realize where the movie is headed, and once it hits you, you just can't help but hope you're wrong. Sadly though, it's true. Logan dies at the end. Throughout the movie, his health slowly deteriorates as he continues to take more and more beatings which don't heal. You could say the movie is too predictable because of this, and you wouldn't be wrong, but I don't think it takes away from how moving the story is. I wouldn't really consider Logan to be an X-Men movie. I mean, it obviously is, but it feels more like an epilogue to the colorful, fun-filled PG-13 movies that came before it. This movie truly marks the end of the original X-Men, leaving us with the First Class series and Deadpool, and the New Mutants when that comes out. One more thing about the story before we move on to the acting. I love how there's actually X-Men comics in the movie. Even though the issues shown were just made up for the movie, it's still a cool nod to fans. The breakout star here is without a doubt Daphne Keane as Laura. This little girl can kick ass both physically and dramatically. Many of her scenes, like the gas station scene, involve her finding out about the world she never knew when she was at Transigen. These scenes really give a sense of innocence and discovery and strengthen the emotion of the movie. One flaw with Laura, which has nothing to do with Daphne Keene's acting, is that she spends the majority of the movie faking that she's mute. She doesn't speak a single word until there's about half an hour left when she begins yelling at Logan in Spanish while they're sitting in a car. You could infer from this scene that she only knows Spanish, but later it's shown that even though she can't speak English fluently, she can still say enough basic phrases that it makes no sense why she kept quiet for so long. She could have talked to Charles and Logan the entire time, and it's never explained why she doesn't. Again, nothing to do with the acting, but I thought this would be the best time to bring it up. Hugh Jackman gives it his absolute all, having played the Wolverine for 17 years in 9 movies, and boy does it pay off. Even though Logan acts like a total asshole for a lot of the movie, he's the most human we've ever seen him, and also the most violent and vulgar due to the R rating. It's the greatest send-off for the character they could have possibly made. Patrick Stewart's performance is noteworthy as well. This movie is also meant to be his last portrayal of Charles Xavier, although he seems a bit more willing to come back again than Hugh Jackman. I guess that potential explains why Hugh Jackman's performance was a bit better, but Patrick Stewart still successfully captures the essence of a sorrowful grandfather figure. Of course, everyone else in the movie was good too, although nobody aside from the three main characters really stood out to me. Still, this movie deserves to win at least one Oscar for acting. Oh, also, while I was rewatching the movie for this review, I noticed in the credits that John Bernecker was a stuntman in it. For those who don't know, he died back in July in an accident on the set of The Walking Dead. Right now, I'd like to give 5 seconds of silence for him. Now, on to the special effects. Gore, gore, gore. Blood, bone, brain, you name it, Logan shows it all. This is the Wolverine people have been clamoring to see for years, and now it's finally here. Nothing is toned down or censored in the slightest. We get to see brutal stabbings and decapitations, and it all looks so real. The effects department had their work cut out for them, and they delivered. Aside from the usual gunfire and explosions, I like how the pacing is a lot more controlled than other superhero movies. Like, they don't rush to give you a fast-paced battle followed by scenes of witty dialogue and exposition. Instead, they allow the tension to come from the story and the characters' emotions so that each battle feels more worthy of the audience's attention. The cinematography is more raw and depressing than any other X-Men movie. James Mangold, the writer and director, has a way of playing with lights and shadows that somehow creates a sense of heavy sadness on its own. They actually did release a version of Logan in black and white, and while I haven't seen that version, I just know it would work really well. And there's even a scene where Charles and Laura are watching the movie Shane in a hotel room. I haven't seen that movie myself, not really being into movies from the 50s, but based on the little bit shown in Logan, it's definitely similar in style and tone. So once again, I'm caught between the rating of a 9 or a 10. As a Wolverine movie, it's absolutely perfect, but there are a few things, like Laura faking being mute when she could talk after all, that could have been avoided. The giant X-Men fan in me is just dying to give this movie a perfect 10, but the reviewer in me says I have to be honest in my ratings, so Logan will receive a 9 out of 10. The story was incredible, the acting was stellar, and the effects were everything that hardcore Wolverine fans have always wanted. I'm sure that 20th Century Fox will eventually cast a younger actor to play Wolverine in future movies, but whoever it is won't come even close to Hugh Jackman, I guarantee it. That's it for my review of Logan. Thank you all for watching, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. So until then, peace out.